Hola, Spenny Flex here, and this is a video of my trip to Cuba. This was my first time back to Cuba after living there 18 years ago. I was very excited to go back. We booked a 7-day all-inclusive in Cayo, Santa Maria, which is part of the archipelago Gardens of the King.
Oh, it's so warm.
We landed in Santa Clara, grabbed our bags, and jumped on our bus to the resort.
Okay, friends, welcome to the city of Canajani. It's really close, but now let's take a look at that Frankenstein. Yeah, that's the name we use to those cars, Frankenstein. Also, more regularly, Almendron. Okay, those cars are awesome. I'm talking about that car, for example, is from the 50s and it's still running. Just because when you enter that car, you see the shell of a Chevrolet, a Ford, but then you open the engine, what would you see after your engine? A steering wheel of a Mitsubishi, the seats of a Peugeot. That is not a car at all.
Before we got on the bus, we had to pick up a few bucaneros. Our resort was the Iberostar Selección Nachos. What a beautiful resort. 2 huge beaches, 2 huge pools, spa, gym, and there's even a private area at the coral level, which gives you private pool, restaurants, and private bar at the far end of the resort. This place was absolutely beautiful. The groundskeepers and gardeners do such a good job at making this resort absolutely stunning. The main lobby features the check-in area, a few little shops, and the main bar. Nachos is one of the older resorts on Cayo Santa Maria and features some beautiful Cuban architecture. There's a live wall as you head down the stairs from the main lobby where you'll find things like the bank, the disco, and some of the a la carte restaurants. The buffet is also located off of the main lobby and is open for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Now, I know a lot of people say the food in Cuba is not very good, but it was absolutely delicious here. I also love Cuban food, and we always found something good to eat. For breakfast, there was always lots of bacon, fresh omelets, fresh smoothies, and a great selection of fruit. Our first day fishing, we headed to Cayo Las Brutas to the marina. On this trip, we went out deep sea fishing by trolling lures behind our sport fish boat with our great guide, George. We ended up catching 7 huge barracudas, which was the number 3 fish on my all-time fishing bucket list. After a great first day fishing, we sat by the spa pool and relaxed. Later that night, I got some lures ready for the next day. As we cruised around the flats in the Gardens of the King, I hooked into the largest fish of my trip, which was a 60-pound Cubera snapper.
Okay, to the
Cuba! Cubera snapper! Number 2.
number 2 today.
What a beautiful fish! There's lots of other boat rides to take from the marina in Cayo Las Brutas, including party catamaran, snorkeling, inshore and offshore fishing. One of the best ways to see Cayo Santa Maria is definitely from the water. I highly recommend getting out on a boat somehow. This was my pinky finger the day after holding the barracuda. Later that afternoon, we had the only rain of the whole entire week, and boy did it come on fast. It was like being in a tropical storm. In the evening, the resort offers some great shows. This one was an authentic Cuban dance show, but they also have a Michael Jackson show and one called Circus, which I highly recommend. The next morning was our last day inshore fishing the Gardens of the King. We went out specifically targeting tarpon, where I hooked into my first two, losing the first, and then finally landing the second. As you can see, I was very happy to land my very first tarpon. In Cuba, they called the tarpon the Silver King, and almost every single one caught has a quick picture taken and then is let go. Some of the other big fish we caught that day were giant jacks, mutton snapper, and we also caught a couple huge barracudas. This was the sunset every night from the buffet balcony. One of my favorite things to do on the resort was to grab an espresso and watch the sunrise on the beach. Our last day fishing, we went trolling off the catamarans that we rented right on the resort at the Punta Pirata. These guys here are awesome. As long as you have your own fishing gear, they'll take you trolling over a couple reefs where we were able to catch a couple really nice barracuda that we donated to our good friends Julio and Jaime. Even fishing from shore at this resort is great, as there's 2 channels on both sides and a couple close bridges. If you're thinking about going to Cuba for a vacation and heading to the Cayo Santa Maria area, please check out Cayo Nachos. What a great spot, great fishing, great staff. I can't say enough good things about it. Thanks for watching. This has been Spenny Flex.